Jonathan Glazer's The Zone of Interest is set at the Auschwitz Nazi death camp during the extermination of the Jews during World War II. The German camp commandant, Rudolf Höss, and his family live in a compound just outside the walls of the camp itself. Their somehow idyllic life is literally overshadowed by the camp's audible and visible atrocities, and yet somehow they maintain a semblance of normality in their daily lives. This disturbing juxtaposition gives us a window into the atrocities as seen and denied by the actual perpetrators. The zone of interest refers to the 16 square mile exclusion zone cordoned off by the Nazis with expulsion of the local population in Auschwitz, Silesia, Poland during the 1940s. These crimes against humanity would be hidden away from the prying eyes of the public. Indeed, there was also a subsequent attempt to destroy the evidence by aerial bombardment, which flattened half of the camp and destroyed the largest of the incinerators. The film itself puts me in mind of 2004's Downfall in some ways. The reason being that the characters here also justify, compartmentalise and live in denial. In Downfall, Traudie Junge is a young woman who works very closely with Hitler and jots down his dictated letters. Downfall and its accompanying documentary Blind Spot suggest that various departments and individuals within Hitler's war machine were simply not aware of the extent of the final solution and the genocide involved. I personally don't buy this, and as a film, neither does The Zone of Interest. It shows how the people concerned not only turned a blind eye to, but consciously benefited from their crimes. The Nazis murdered 6 million Jews as well as minorities such as gypsies and homosexuals and disabled people, and in so doing, robbed us all of our European heritage. I also recall a scene from Shakespeare's play Henry V, where the king and his close confidants ruminate over a coming invasion. It is suggested to the king that the ultimate responsibility rests on his head, but the king retorts that his subordinates' crimes within the remit of war may go unpunished or even undetected by the crown, but will nevertheless be judged by God. This passing around of responsibility almost preempts the Nuremberg defence of, quote, "we were only following orders." And this is where humanity has often been at its worst throughout history. Remove accountability and the people are capable of the most heinous acts. Also, I read a review in the New York Times that claims the Holocaust is reduced here to mere background noise, but that's the whole film's point. It seeks to show us that the real face of evil, and maybe a greater evil, is indifference. Even though the horrors of the camp are kept at somewhat of a distance, there is plenty that can be seen from outside the walls in this film. But more than the visible is what is audible. And through the auditory spectrum, we really witness the horrors. The soundtrack is a real character in the movie. And between the Foley, sound effects and the dissonant music score, the sound helps to make the film all the more upsetting. I visited Auschwitz a number of years ago, and this movie really does capture the horrible atmosphere that hangs over the camp and its surroundings. It is a film that shows without judging and makes you privy to events that are left up to you to make sense of and to come to terms with. It will stay with you and leave you with questions while also being relevant to our times. I highly recommend seeing this film. It is not one to be missed. It is a cinematic masterpiece and an important piece of cinema for our times. If you found the review helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for notifications. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.